So Extraction is the #1 or #2 now movie on Netflix that everyone's been talking about for the last week, so I finally decided to check it out. And it's got Chris Hemsworth in it, so I'm sold already. And it's directed by a stunt coordinator, and that's worked out pretty good before in John Wick. So that intrigued me, and I've heard that there's all kinds of action, and does it live up to the hype? Yes, it does. Do I prefer this over John Wick? No. But this is still a great movie. Netflix just hitting it all out of the park. Just fucking home runs each time. They did 6 Underground with like Ryan Reynolds, and now this. They just dropped these awesome big budget action blockbusters just out of nowhere. They just drop a trailer and then like the next day it's out. It's crazy. But this is from like the directors of the Avengers movies. They're producing and writing this one. It's directed by a stunt coordinator, and it's basically about Chris Hemsworth, who's a soldier, a badass, who has to go save a kidnapped kid whose dad's like in prison. He's like a drug lord, and there's another drug lord who's like kidnapping the son for ransom and whatnot. Very basic, very generic type of action movie plot, and there's not a whole lot of like character development. There's some with Chris Hemsworth. We find out about his past and his family and whatnot. It's all very typical. There's not much to it, but we're here to see the action. If I had to throw like another negative, I would say that this movie does that start at the end and then work your way back to that point. Like it just 2 days earlier and then like cuts back. Like we know where this movie's going now. I don't understand that decision in editing, why start the film at the end and then work your way to that. John Wick does that also, and I'm not a fan of it. But everything else is positives. I really like the way the movie was shot. It's very awesome. They have like this very long 15-minute sequence where they're in a car, they're going through an apartment building, and then they're crashing cars or flipping cars. They're all kind of hand-to-hand combat, knife combat, gun combat, going up here, going down. Like it just keeps going everywhere. It's the camera's following them in places where you're like, how did they get the camera in there? It's just amazing. The cinematography, the way the movie looks, the acting by Chris Hemsworth, everything just worked for me perfectly. They have these nice little character moments between Chris Hemsworth's character Tyler and the kid he's trying to save, and I like that. I like their chemistry together. And you got David Harbour, Hellboy, the guy from Stranger Things. He makes a cameo in here. It was fun to see him. But yeah, this movie's just action-packed, adrenaline rush the entire time. Like there's hardly any downtime. Just the beginning to kind of set up the mission, but once the mission starts, it just keeps going. So this is a blast. And I don't have a rating system for Netflix movies, so if you have Netflix, check it out. It's definitely worth it. It's worth all the hype. It is bloody. It is fun. Chris Hemsworth is a badass. So what did you think of Extraction? Do you think it deserves that top 10 Netflix spot, or do you think it's overrated? Put all your thoughts of it in the comments below. Do you prefer over John Wick, or do you like John Wick better, like me? But thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you like what you're seeing, hit this like button, share all your friends, and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.